Welcome back. Now, as you saw this morning, if you were with us when we started the show, we welcomed you with the sight from the Johannesburg Zoo, the sight of elephants, of course, Leanne, Ramodiba and Mopani, and this in their enclosure at the Johannesburg Zoo. Now, just to tell you a little bit more about the Joburg Zoo, did you know that it first opened in around 120 years ago, and at that time they only had 11 animals. But today the zoo boasts more than 282 species and 2,284 animals altogether in its collection, which of course includes the Big Five. Now, the average visitor number is 500,000 per year, but in the previous financial year, the zoo actually welcomed over 600,000 visitors who came to celebrate the venue's 120th anniversary. And although the Joburg Zoo has had an incredible journey, there have been some concerns about the role and, of course, the relevance of zoos in general in today's world. And this morning, we take a closer look at this family-friendly 365 days a year outdoor award-winning destination that is, of course, a critical player in global conservation efforts, and also find out if it is summer-ready to host thousands of visitors as we continue to follow the sun here on Morning Live. But for now, let's take you to Leanne, who is at the Joburg Zoo to have a look and, of course, to hear what's happening there. Leanne, good morning.
Hi, Sakina. A very, very good morning to you. Well, I think you've said it all. You've given the zoo the best reputation in town because it is honestly one of the most visited tourist destinations here in the city of Johannesburg. And I suppose people use it as a sanctuary to come, have a look, get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and enjoy some of the animals that they've got here. And as you mentioned, I mean, there are so many animals that they have got here at the zoo. And we just happen to be standing at the elephant enclosure, and we've got three little visitors that are with us. I love the way I say three little visitors because they are anything but little. In fact, the lady that you're looking at on your screen, the one who's got the branch and eating away over there, she is apparently 45 years old. So that's how old Mopani is, and that's the one we're looking at the moment. And then also, as you mentioned, Sakina, we've got Leanne and Ramodiba. So I think I don't know. I'm not gonna hazard a guess, but I know the one is 25, the other one is 27. I can't tell you which is which at the moment, though. But I can tell you there's our matriarch who is 45 years old. So you know the reason, and let's take you back to the reason as to why we're here at the Johannesburg Zoo. You may remember when we launched the Follow the Sun campaign, we had the Premier Panyaza Lesufi on the program, and one of the questions Sakina asked was, "Are there any animals at the zoo?" And that was a very innocent question that we asked the Premier. The Premier jumped at us saying, absolutely, and it's in brilliant condition. Well, we thought we'd come out ourselves and see the state of the Johannesburg Zoo, because Johannesburg Zoo, as well as many other zoos, have come under a bit of criticism from people because obviously zoos have changed through the years. You know, at one stage where animals were used for entertainment and people would come and have a look at animals in these enclosures, people were saying, why are they not out in free, wandering free? But through the years, these have changed into conservation sites, educational sites, and many of them are now being used to study these animals and to also look at their behavior and to introduce people to them and to understand and respect them, which you certainly have to respect them. Well, they're looking for some food as we do this. So there we go. That's their nutrients for the morning as we stand here watching them do what they do in their habitat. But throughout this morning and this broadcast, we're going to take a tour around Johannesburg Zoo and have a look and see exactly the different animals that they've got here, the conditions that they're staying in, and of course get to know them a little bit better. You know, there are many people that don't appreciate zoos, and I think throughout the world there have been places that have had to adjust, and I imagine Johannesburg has been exactly the same, having to adjust what it is that they offer. And as you've said, Sakina, 120 years is the Johannesburg Zoo. It's been around for that long, and it is one that certainly has got a very, very rich history that dates back many, many years. And I mean, this, of course, is right next to the Zoo Lake, and It was at one stage one property, and this was given, and millions of trees planted in this area so that they could facilitate and house these animals. But of course, through the years, they've had to change and adjust to the laws and how animals are looked after. But that's also a very important way, is the fact that you need to see that these animals are cared for and looked after. And these are some of the questions that we certainly will be posing to those that are in charge here at the Johannesburg Zoo, and we'll find out from them what it is and how they've changed over the years. I also know, as a family destination, they've got beautiful light exhibition here. So the Joburg lights, I think they switched them on a couple of weeks ago, just to celebrate the festive season, and people have come out and they've enjoyed it and made sure that they're able to do it. Please excuse me while I close my eyes from the sun. This Joburg sun is beating down on me this morning, and one can imagine that they're all of them are all standing over here. So one of the sounds that we had to listen to this morning, and this was one of the most incredible sounds I've heard. I don't know if you have heard in your time of being around something called a yellow-cheeked gibbon. Well, it's a primate, and I have never heard a sound like this in my life. At first, I thought it was a bird, and then we were told, no, this is actually a monkey. So I need to actually, I hope we can get it on camera. You've got to listen to the sounds that they make, because that's where I was doing makeup this morning. Not many people can say that they've had their makeup professionally done at a zoo. Well, there's another one that I can tick off here. Well, also, as we talk about Johannesburg and we talk about, I know our question of the day is focused around the water issues. We've got the mayor. He'll be coming to visit us here as well. Unfortunately, the Premier cancelled on us this morning. Can you believe it? He was meant to come and visit us here at the zoo and be with us this morning, but unfortunately he is unable to make it anymore. But we do have the mayor who's going to be joining us, so we'll be able to ask him a couple of pressing questions, not only about the zoo and the upkeep of it and things that people are doing here in the city of Johannesburg over this time, but we're also going to speak to him about some of the water challenges that we're finding here. So that is something that's very, very important, is how we're handling the water crisis here in the city of Johannesburg. We know it's not just focused here, but because he, of course, is the Johannesburg mayor, we're able to pose those questions to him. So the Johannesburg Zoo is where we are following the sun, and boy, are we following the sun. It is scorching hot. It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning, and I can tell you I am burning already, but we'll continue to burn as we follow the sun around the zoo. We show you some more of the beautiful animals, but I hope you've enjoyed watching the elephants this morning as they have their breakfast, as they get ready for their days, and the sounds at the zoo are just something incredible. I can only imagine the houses that live in this area, because I know Saxon World around here and the Jan Smuts area where the road is, and people that live here. And I know there's hotels around here as well. And they all listen to these amazing sounds in the city. It's incredible. It really, really is.